One of the things I love most about SEED is that it is faculty-led professional development for faculty and staff. And so what that means is that faculty find their voice and feel empowered in a way that perhaps they didn't before to have an impact on the system of a school.
SEED continues to teach me how to listen.
As someone who always felt like I was coming from the margins, SEED was my first authentically normalizing educational experience. And having that honor and gift made me so eager to do that for my students, to provide that for my students, and to think explicitly about how to teach others to be able to do the same.
For me, SEED has meant giving voice and validation to our common sense of experiences as human beings. It empowers us and gives us the courage to cultivate authenticity in the relationships that we have. It helps us to recognize that we are all works in progress and that it really is about the journey. It's not the destination.
For me, SEED was certainly one of those life-changing experiences that I had because my story became valid. As an administrator, my hope is that by helping teachers acknowledge themselves and tell their stories, they would be willing to listen to the kids that they work with each day.
It changed my trajectory as an educator, my view of what schools could be, recognizing that not only I as an educator, I was normalized, I wasn't comfortable sharing who I was, therefore it became difficult to expect my students to do so. Through learning how to model my own story, I empowered my students to do the same.
I see a change in our English language arts curriculum where there are more texts available to students that represent different voices.
I came back and I rewrote my entire curriculum. I had my students, fourth graders, do most of the activities we did over the summer. They knew the words windows and mirrors, they knew the word covering and ally, and it was life-changing for them as well.
In our math curriculum, in a place where there has been such tracking going on, that we have detracked some of our math, not completely, but some of our math so that our students, they're all together. They are not segregated by race and by ability. And ultimately this has been a good thing because we are now also seeing results with our ACTs. And so we do an ACT for all juniors. And so I'm very proud of that as well.
We had a team of teachers who stopped a conversation between two Latina aides and said, this school is English only, both in and outside of the classroom. And we engaged that problem in our SEED group and talked about what steps we would take.
The culture for the adults and for the students is now that we will engage in uncomfortable conversations and learn how to talk together about things that aren't always comfortable for everyone.
I think in many ways we've lessened that benevolent racism that often comes with uninformed but good intentions. And we've established more of a dialogue.
There's an understanding that there's an expectation that SEED-related ideas or diversity, equality are part of the everyday conversation in classrooms.
We had a gifted person in my school, my building, who went through a list of kids, and these are the students that should be encouraged to take honors classes this year. So I asked him, how many students of color do you have on this list? I had to use SEED process to get this person to understand that his view of who should be in these classes was very narrow. And he was eliminating some really smart students.
Teachers who have gone through SEED are thinking differently about their homeroom placements for the next year. So they're thinking differently about the children they put together and thinking very intentionally about creating safe spaces for classes where perhaps there are only 2 or 3 children of color, or 1 or 2 children of a certain religion, and making sure that they are together so that they feel safe and not isolated and not other.
Although there's maybe just a few members of your faculty in your actual SEED group, they bring a new lens to the lunchroom conversations, to the faculty meetings, and then to their classrooms. That really does have a huge change on how your organization looks and feels.
When people ask me about SEED, the first thought that comes to mind always is that it changed my life. And as a result of having my life changed, I have changed the lives of everyone I've come in contact with since that time for the better.